Des, Mitch from 7 News, I suppose, first of all, why the Titans? What about this club attracted you to come here and coach?
Again, if you ask any coach that question, the first thing they'll do is, look at their position. They'll sort of look at the roster, and genuinely, they're probably the main principles why sort of I engaged with the Titans. And it's not a bad area to live either, is it?
There was an interesting quote. The Suns also had a new coach. One of the first things he said when he started is 90% of my first premiership squad is here. Could you sort of gauge, looking at the roster you have, how much of that would be the Coast's first premiership winning side?
Oh, you've got to be careful making predictions. It's a curly one there. So, no, I won't go make any bold predictions. But let's just say I'm very optimistic.
Des, Veronica from Channel 10. You mentioned windows. What do you think the window is for this team?
Oh, I think to be really competitive. Look, I'll be pretty brutal about it. It's the NRL is about consistency. It's about consistency of performance. You've only got to look at the one of the grand finalists from the last game where they were a couple of years ago and where they are now. So it turns on a coin almost. You've only got to look at the Newcastle Knights. The way their season went through. They Kalen Ponga was retiring. They were, they were in the bottom six after round 11. So that's what that window is, and it's a great opportunity to seize it.
And what do you think your biggest challenge is with this team and this roster?
Oh, I think it's around performing capability-wise and playing that consistency of games across the season. Yeah.
Hi, Des. Danielle from the ABC. You said the NRL season is unlike any other. How has the game changed since you debuted in 1980?
I think it's the game changes not just the players, but obviously since I played, that was last century. They're obviously they're bigger, they're faster, much more mobile, because as this sort of professionalism sort of came into the game, that was the natural trend. That's always a part of the deal, and also the rule changes also haven't affected the game. I could name a number of things, but we won't start talking about referees. No. I'm only joking, Graham. Only joking, Graham.
Des Bronte from Channel 9. Can you talk to us about your decision to build the dojo on site here and I guess the plans for the pre-season?
Yeah, not to be completely honest, it's a side business. Yeah, it's a function centre. I do weddings. I can bury you. I do funerals on the field. I can spread your ashes. And I'll undercut any wedding venue in the Gold Coast. Yeah. I max out about 200 seats. Yeah.
I'll rephrase and to use the dojo on site.
Sorry?
To use the dojo on site.
Oh, do you mean for football?
Yes,
of course,
sure.
sorry. Yeah. Yes, yeah. It's just it's a double-up room. You can use it as an add-on to the field. We use it for rehab. A whole lot of spectrums, yeah. But they're boring. Yeah.
Obviously, it's only early in the 2024 season, but
very early.
Your plans for Jayden Campbell, obviously, he's been passed around a little bit in terms of positions. Do you have a concrete idea of where he'll play?
Well, I got a good 2 or 3 months to look over the squad, and one thing particularly about the squad is there's certainly there's a lot of hybrid about the club. So, and by that I mean they can play a number of positions. Yeah, very versatile.
There's Rod from Triple M. You mentioned consistency. In the past, the Titans have been red hot or cold as ice. What's got to happen for those two to come a little bit closer and get more consistency?
To put it simply, it's about sort of raising the expectations and raising the capabilities. And I kind of sort of counteracted that by sort of saying the experience now that they've played the number of seasons should start to kick in. And that's how you gain that consistency with sort of just out, instead of just sort of throwing that word out there.
There's been a number of good coaches to come through the Titans. Did you have any reservations at all moving up here to the Gold Coast?
I didn't have any reservations about moving to the Gold Coast, but at this stage of where I'm at in my coaching as a profession, I enjoy coaching, so and that's what I like to do.
Just on that, Des, I'm back for more. Don't worry, you'll get it all year. Just on that, with the coaches that have come and gone through this club, with all due respect, Des, why do you think you're the man who can actually make this club a success?
Oh, I'm not the man that can make the actual club successful. Let's be honest. I'm part of the plan, and you know, and that's what it is. It's being part of a system that needs to generate success, and the times I've been, though I've coached, I've always been a results based coach.
Well, being part of it, what is your part? What do you bring to this club? What do you want to bring to this team?
I want to make sure that we're sort of bringing a standard of performance and want to win. Jeez, you're hogging that mic there, son.
Getting comfortable. Steve, just a question for you. The 10-year plan, we're a couple of years in now, 2 premierships by 2030. You've heaped pressure on him before he could even start, but do you still believe that can come to fruition?
Yeah, Mitch is 2 and 2, so 2 NRL and 2 NRLW. I think the sum total of the people that you bring to the organisation and the quality of your leadership and what their standards are and the environment they create affect that. And we started that plan 2 years ago, and I think we've travelled a long way down that road. And I think you'll see by what Karen Murphy did with the grand final this year is a large part of getting closer to delivering on that roadmap. Certainly from an on-field performance point. When that roadmap came out, that player group that Des is talking to at the moment, we're all sitting around 2021. They're now 2 years further into a professional playing career. Most of them sitting between 50 and 100 games. This man has got a reputation for winning. He's a winner. He's been to 5 grand finals. He's won 2 of them. I think the timing at the moment, and between here and 2030, we've got 6 seasons to play. So I think it's all there to be outplayed.
There's Joel at AAP. Just talking about winners, you're going to be coaching Kieran Foran again. I don't know if you ever imagined in your wildest dreams you'd be doing that after you left Manly, but how important is he going to be and what you're trying to build here, and why are you excited about coaching with Kieran again?
The type of player Kieran is, like, you can understand if you're in Madge Maguire's shoes at the moment, why he reached out to Kieran Foran. You know, obviously Kieran's not a 9 a regular week to week, but obviously they had players out. But the way he's been playing and the consistency he's played over there has been outstanding. A player like Kieran and players that play at that level, particularly in rep, they bring experience, they bring influence, and they're the outstanding qualities. And you only gain that by having the longevity that Kieran has had in the game.
I know you had a win. You met with Tino and Dave, and then they re-signed long term here at the Titans. How big was that, as from your point of view as a coach, and also what it said about the Titans and your vision for the club?
Yes, they're great players. Like the Tino being the club captain, and David sort of being second row of the year, and playing State of Origin, and Tino obviously representing his Australia, playing tomorrow. They're big parts of the side. But you know what? It was funny, during the negotiation, I had a really comfortable feeling, and I was very impressed with both young men. They were never going to leave anyway. So that says a lot.
And there's just finally, like, you've been coaching now for 2 decades. What maybe more than that, what still drives you as a coach now in the NRL? Like you had a year off, you're back. What's driving you still as a coach?
I'll steal a Ted Lasso line here. It's probably getting the best versions of people, making people their best versions on and off the field. And you ask any of the players that I've worked with in the past, it's as simple as that. Footy's the easy part.
Hey Des, Nick from the Brisbane Times.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Good, how you going? So with the whole squad that you've got here, a huge amount of them are signed through to the end of 2026. Over your 3 years, do you see the need for any additions, or do you see the nucleus of this group being able to stay together for the next 3 years?
No recruitment there. Then in the committee there, I think with Ezra and the retention committee, they've done a good job in that squad, and that's good having that young nucleus. You would have seen the young winger Loffy. He got a recognition. I think he played against the PMs in New Guinea. So that's the kind of development and that's the kind of squad that we get to keep the nucleus of, and they'll work well over the next couple of years.
And when it comes to a halves partner for Kieran as well, I guess at the moment it's Tanner and Tommy Weaver. Have you is it going to take until the end of the pre-season for you to lock in who partners him?
Yeah, I guess Tanner being the incumbent and Tommy in the 5 games that he played, is certainly we have that so a good depth around that. So it'll be a watch and wait.
And just, I guess, over the last couple of years, one problem for the Titans has been they really come out of the gates in games strong, but then have let points pile up when things go against them and lose seemingly unlosable games. What has sort of the issue been there from you looking from afar, and what goes into fixing that issue?
I think it's always been that around that performance model, around that key experience, so we'll need to counteract that. And as I was saying before, I keep saying it. Another season under their belt adds to that.
Hi Des, Sinead from Hot Tomato.
Sinead, how are you?
The Titans are still yet to make it past a prelim final. How much would you like to become the first coach to achieve that feat, and how much would it mean to you to bring that success to the Gold Coast and all of the fans here?
Oh, that's part of it. That's the plan, and that's what's the success, and that's what's in front of us. So, very much, that's what we desire, and that's what we'll chase.
And had you spent much time on the Gold Coast before moving here? How are
Do
you enjoying the lifestyle?
Funny, it's just that other than to come here and play, I brought my daughter here when she was 4, and that was probably 22 years ago, to go to Wide and Water. This is the first time I've really stayed here. Yeah, so I'm pretty impressed.
And is it true that you've actually moved into the same complex as New Suns coach Damien Hardwick, both premiership winning coaches? We'll be catching up, sharing some tips.
Yeah, he moved in 2 weeks later, but so. No, I've bumped into Dimmer, so we reckon we might be comparing notes at some stage. Yeah.
Beautiful, thank you.
Morning, Des. Josh from Fox. Jerome Luai, he's been pretty public about the fact he's on the open market. Is he someone you might want to lure here?
Have you seen us in the press?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I guess there's your answer.
But what could he bring if you wanted to bring him in?
Oh, Jerome's you've seen himself. I don't really have to answer that question, do I? 3 grand finals. He'll obviously, he's going through a negotiation. It's a big call to leave Penrith, and that's all I can say about that. Rest is just speculation.
How about your legal stoush with your former club? Where are we at with that? And are you worried it might lead into the off season for the Titans?
That's a really easy one to answer. No comment.